Okay, we're going to do adding rational expressions. And the very first thing we need to do is find a least common denominator. And in order to do that, we have to factor our denominators. So this guy's going to factor into x minus 5, x plus 4. And this guy's going to factor into x plus 4 and x plus 3. A least common denominator means out of my denominators, I need everything. And if I were to have a common base, then I would take the one with the higher exponent. So finding my least common denominator, x minus 5 I need as a least common denominator. X plus 4 I need as a least common denominator. X plus 4 I don't need again, I already have it. X plus 3 I need as a least common denominator. So here's the least common denominator. Now we're going to work with our numerators. I'm going to take my 2, and if I compare my 3 items in my least common denominator to the 2 items that are under the 2, then the x minus 5 and the x plus 4 would cancel out because it's like I'm taking these 3 and dividing by those 2. So those 2 would cancel out and I'm left with the x plus 3. So I need to multiply my 2 times my x plus 3. Notice if I were to reduce this, that those 2 would cancel and I'd be left with this original piece. Move on to your next term. Plus, now take these 3 items and divide by the 2 original, and that means those would cancel out and I'd be left with the x minus 5. So I'm going to take my 3 times my x minus 5. Now, do not cancel anything at this point because you would be canceling terms, because all this is attached to this by this addition sign, so that makes everything terms. Do not try to cancel that and cancel that. You will not get the right answer. Instead, distribute. We still have the same least common denominator. Combine like terms on the top. And then look at what you're left with in the numerator, because if it were to factor, you should factor it, because you could possibly factor and then maybe cancel something in the denominator. Now we can't, so our answer is completed. But if you could factor something out here, you should.